Oh my goodness. Welcome everyone to Après Midi. I'm so thrilled to see such a nice crowd today. The weather's really gorgeous, right? Like best weather in Paris ever. For the last few days. I was kind of worried, Jim, about that.
Were you?
Yeah, because with all this good weather, they might not want to come see you.
Well, it appears
But
that
you're
that's
so
your
worth
worry.
it.
Well, the weather worked to everybody's favor, so here we are.
It did.
And your worry is diminishing quickly.
Very much.
Unlike
so.
you, which headed in the other direction.
Oh, you can tell we're already in trouble, right here?
Oh, here comes
James Nave is going to talk about writing what you don't know rather than writing what you do know. We have known each other obviously for a very long time, since 2006, and Jim has presented here on
at least
a
two
few
or three
occasions.
times.
He's
yeah.
done some creative writing workshops because that's really his shtick. He's been coming to the city since 1985, and he's the founder of the Imaginative Storm Writing Project. He has an MFA in poetry. I like to think of him as a slam poet, but he told me he's not a slam poet. So.
Well, I used to be involved with the poetry slam world for a long time, so I have. It's a great community, and
yeah,
but
and if anybody can slam, it's you.
Well, no, there's a lot. We go beyond everything.
And he has written 3 books, which are all up here. Write What You Don't Know, 100 Days, which are poems after cancer, and imaginative storm writing prompts.
Right, yes.
So after Jim presents, you can always come up here and have a look at the books. Okay? He also does a radio show. How long have you been doing the radio show?
I've been doing the radio show 10 years. Twice 5 Miles Radio. Fertile ground for conversations worth listening to and remembering. She's done it twice, at least.
I've been interviewed twice, yes. He's got a very smooth voice. That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
And this is a guy who is grounded in storytelling and poetry. And we are going to spend a little bit of time generating some creative writing.
We are.
We are.
Not much time. 10 minutes won't be much.
Yeah, don't get worried, okay?
No,
You're not being
this is-
graded. Okay, you
Yeah.
don't know when don't have to show what you've written to anyone.
I mean,
It's all this
really,
stuff.
you
It's
have
just-
you'll have 10 minutes to do it in, and you can only write 1 word if you like.
So whatever.
You don't need to write more than 1.
Okay, so you
you
know
could
what?
write 30
You know
if
what I'm
want.
going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to go sit down. I'm going
Why
to let
don't
you have
go
the
sit down?
stage.
Thank you.
Okay.
This must be the stage. I have to stay.
Thank you, Jim.
Stay. So you can clap or whatever. So thank you all for taking the time out of your day to come here and support Adrian. She does a lot of terrific work, and if you are looking for a place to live in Paris or outside of the region, she's definitely the person to talk to.
I didn't pay him to do that either.
You don't pay me to do that. I'm very impressed with the way you've treated me over the years, and I appreciate that. And she supports the artistry world as well as the places for people to come and to live. And some of you probably have purchased a property through her, and you know what it means to have a roof over your head, as we do right now. So what you have in front of you, you have pieces of paper. So what I'd like to do today is to give you a sense of something that I have been working on with my creative collaborator for the last 5 years in a very focused way. I've been doing this idea for many, many years. It's called the Imaginative Storm Writing Project. And the idea behind it is writing from the imaginative storm to the creative form. So this book, we generated, thank you, the last 5 years, from the COVID experience till now. It's called Write What You Don't Know. It's a play on most writing workshops, which will say, write what you know. We started to think, Allegra Houston and I did, well, sure, we know a lot, and you all know a lot. And many of you are writers, you're storytellers, you're here in Paris, you're experiencing the springtime here, you know a lot. There's also a lot of things inside of you that you maybe have forgotten. You maybe haven't connected with. Everything that you've ever encountered, you know. It's there. inside your body. It may be hiding, it may be quiet, it may never come out, it may be a secret that you keep to yourself and it never emerges again. But the experiences that you have are experiences that you always know. Walt Whitman said, a child went forth every day, and the first object that child looked upon, that object that child became. And that object became part of that child for the day, or a certain part of the day, or for many years, or stretching cycles of years. And I think that's an interesting idea for us to think about in 2025 as we're emerging in some disruptive times, how we play our own roles out in this time. So the child goes forth every day, and the first object the child looks upon, that object the child becomes. And the object becomes part of the child. So we take all that in. So what I'd like to do today is just give you a little sampling of what my creative collaborator and I have been working on for the last 5 years. And so how this will work, you see a couple of pieces of paper. And I have given each one of you this. So if any of you are interested in joining our Zoom call, Eastern Time, noon on Saturdays, and Thursday it's midnight in Paris, so you don't want to come on Thursdays. We do a free workshop every Saturday. It's a global workshop. People come from all over the place, and we work for an hour. It's also something that you can recommend to people who maybe can't afford a writing workshop. A little tight. This is always free, so just something for you to reference.
No, the Saturday's at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Pacific time.
Pacific, which is great. Here it's 6 p.m. here.
6 p.m. Saturday, but Thursday it's midnight. Yeah.
Exactly.
6 p.m. here on Saturday. Yeah. So how many of you tell stories? How many of you are interested in storytelling and writing, generative work? Raise your hands. Okay, a lot of people in here are. So what we're going to do, and those of you who aren't, you likely have been somewhere when somebody said, well, tell me how you got to Paris. And you've likely told them how you arrived. I will say, here's Roy here. Roy was here years ago when we did a workshop. I don't know.
20 years ago in this very room.
20 years ago in this very room. I took a picture of Roy sitting at that table, and I still use it to this day. So here he is again 20 years later.
But he had hair.
When he had hair, well, you know, you gotta start somewhere.
Actually, I didn't have hair back then.
He has hair in the back. He joined the club.
I think Roy looks just the same, quite honestly.
Same ponytail.
I think it's amazing. Exactly. I have that picture.
You did? Yeah, it was a good shot.
here.
Yeah, it was a good shot.
Actually, that long hair, but before the ponytail.
Was it? We can
No,
go
you
look.
had a tail on.
It's on my main picture on my Facebook page, and that picture was taken in that workshop.
Yeah, I took that picture. Have you given me credit for that? No. Roy.
Yeah, you should get royalties every time someone looks at it.
So what we're going to dive into right now, and we'll get moving into this, and then after we experience this, which will take about 20, 30 minutes to do the whole arc, we can take some questions and get some feedback. So Allegra and I started doing this Zoom call 4 years ago. The idea for the Zoom call was to show up. Maybe some people would come. Maybe they wouldn't. We would be there. It would be fun. We had no idea when we started how much it would change us. I thought we were going to facilitate a writing workshop. What we ended up facilitating was a gathering of really powerful people from all over the world. Guy from Rwanda, fellow from South Africa, Tomiko from Japan, Mike from Australia, Esme who lives in Hawaii, 2 or 3 people from Mexico call in. It's all based in English, but we encourage people to write in the first language as well. So it's not necessarily in English. We never imagined when we started this that it would change us, that it would change the way we think. So we realized somewhere in the last 4 years, my goodness, this isn't about writing, although we are generating work. It's about a way of thinking. It's about a way of processing the world, about a way of responding to the simple things around us. Not so much the grand, large things, but that, the light, or the plant, or those shoes on your feet. It's about responding to the simple things, and it's about putting things together that you didn't necessarily expect to put together and seeing what your imagination does with it. So and we started to see people on the call report, well, my gosh, I never realized my imagination would do that. So what we're going to do today, we call spin the kaleidoscope of your mind. And the idea is working from the imaginative storm to the creative form. Now, one of the things that we say to people in our work that you don't hear in a lot of writing groups and creative groups, we say stay in your rational mind. We don't tell you to get out of it. We say stay in your rational mind, because your rational mind is the most important thing you have. What do you do with your imaginative mind? You let your imaginative mind...
We have a lot of imagination going on
Indeed
downstairs.
we do. See, we have echoes. Those are the echoes. So you let your imaginative mind swirl and feed your rational mind material that it hasn't had before. You pair the two together, it becomes a dance, and then out of that you get something that's energetic. The reason we're doing writing is because it's easy. You have some pens and some paper. We all know how to do it. But you can apply this to anything. Now, what Allegra and I do every Thursday and every Saturday, we show an image. So these are 50 prompts. I don't know if you can see them or not. Just kind of give you a sense. I have to stay in the frame, see, Adrian says.
Well,
and then
you're not in the frame, actually, because you're very far forward.
Thank you. So this is one image. We'll flip to another one. So we give one image, and then we ask people to generate in 2 minutes a list of words or phrases responding to this image. So they wouldn't necessarily have to be... so here are two travelers looking at the stamp of Charles. And we ask them to generate images, and then we ask them to give their one image from what they generate to the community list. So this is the community list. There's nothing there, kingdom come, double image, stranger in my city, art critics, I know that dictator, stamp of approval, prisoners of our own device, etched, the emperor's new clothes. So we've collected 4 years worth of imagery and words, which are all online, and people then make something from this list. They create a piece of writing. So that's what we're going to do, a version of that today. But I'm not going to work with these images. I just wanted you to get a sense of what Allegra and I do. And they're really, and we sell this book if you'd like to get it, although you can't order it online, you have to order it from us because it's printed and it's not on demand. But it's beautiful. And I'm tearing it apart. This is a good one. The rafting guy shot on the box in Taos, New Mexico. Los Rios River Rafting Company. That was where this. Yahoo! We know that. Okay. So, what I'd like to do now is to give you a sample of this. So let's start, and I'm going to ask you to shift out of your rational mind and just think of fanciful leaps. So I want somebody to give me just an image, and then we'll all write that image down. So just toss out an image. Nothing, no big deal, just an image.
Eiffel Tower.
Well, Adrian, you can.
I don't get to play?
You don't get to play.
Okay, never mind.
Because we have to let other people play. Who wants to toss out an image?
A lighthouse.
A
lighthouse.
A lighthouse. Okay. Everybody write a lighthouse down. A lighthouse. Okay. When you think about a lighthouse, what do you think of?
Red.
Red. What else do you think of?
Ships.
Ships. What else do you think of?
Danger.
Ocean.
Danger.
Danger. What else? Water.
Isolation.
Isolation.
Storms. Crash.
Storms. Fog. Okay, so we have the lighthouse image. Okay, now let's depart from that what we know. That's what we know about the lighthouse. Let's pair that lighthouse with something that would be dramatically unexpected. Let's turn the lighthouse into a character. So what would that lighthouse be doing that would be so far from the storm and the fog and the loneliness and the sea and the ships? What could the lighthouse be doing?
Alpha Centauri.
What?
Alpha Centauri.
Be more specific than that.
Conveying to Alpha Centauri.
What is Alpha Centauri?
It's the nearest star.
Conveying through the nearest star. So what is the lighthouse doing with the let's go with nearest star. What is the lighthouse doing with the nearest star?
It's communicating.
How is it communicating?
The magnetically oriented light speeds.
Okay, so that's literal. Let's have the nearest star and the lighthouse. What is the lighthouse doing that would make absolutely no sense to you?
Singing.
Singing. The lighthouse is singing to the nearest star. One more thing that the star or the lighthouse might be doing is
Jumping.
what is the lighthouse is singing and the star is jumping. The lighthouse is singing to a jumping star. And what are they doing together?
Dancing.
Not dancing.
Communicating.
Not communicating. Something completely far-flung. They're repairing an automobile. Adrian's like, what? Okay.
I got it.
Yeah.
Painting graffiti.
Painting graffiti. Okay. Lighthouse singing to a dancing star, painting graffiti. Now jot that down. Lighthouse singing to a dancing star, painting graffiti. Now, here we are away from the rational mind into the imaginative mind. Notice how you are looking for things that make sense. Am I backed up with?
If you put this into ChatGPT, you will get that image.
That's correct. But we are working today with imaginative intelligence, which is human-based.
Right.
ChatGPT, which I use all the time, is artificial intelligence. It's digital-based. The difference between artificial intelligence and human beings, we all know we're going to die. We are aware of our limitations. Digital space, it's a whole different thing. Because of that awareness, there's something here that we engage with. Okay, so what I'd like for you to do now is let your imaginative intelligence, pairing it with your rational mind, engage with this image. So who would like to read the image out loud for me? Who could do that? Somebody read it?
A lighthouse singing to a dancing star painting graffiti.
Okay, can you do that a little bit louder, Janet?
A lighthouse singing to a dancing star painting graffiti.
Okay, so let's just all on the count of three, everybody read it together. 1, 2, 3, go.
A lighthouse singing to a dancing star, painting graffiti.
Now what I'd like for you to do is to take 2 minutes and jot words or phrases down with that image in mind. The lighthouse dancing with, let's try, I can't, one more time. Say it aloud and then start to write. 1, 2, 3, aloud again.
A lighthouse singing to the dancing star, painting graffiti.
Okay, 2 minutes, go. Generate words, fast as you can. Words or phrases, just whatever comes. Or rhythm. 10 more seconds. Okay, wind it up. So now you have your personal list. So what we'll do now is to take time, and I'm going to go around the room, and we have enough time to get one word or two, no more than two, because we have to be aware of the time. From each one of you, you say it, I'll call it back out, and everybody write that word down, write those words on this piece of paper. So not only do you have your words, but you also have the collective sensibility of the whole room. And I will just go around the room and point to you. You call out the word, and I'll call it back one time, and everybody please jot that down. Start with you, my friend.
Tagging.
Tagging.
Indigo.
Indigo. Tagging. Indigo.
Connected.
Connected.
Stairway to heaven.
Stairway to heaven.
Connection.
He was connected. Try another one.
Messaging.
Messaging. Okay, my friend.
Breath.
Breath.
Do a little more slowly.
Okay.
Because we can't get all the words.
Got you. Got you. Got it. Okay. Okay. Where are we? Let's go back to connecting.
Messaging.
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 Connecting.
Connecting.
Thanks for that note. I appreciate it. And what was yours again?
Breath.
Breath. Messaging. Connecting. Breath.
Spice language.
Spice.
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 Space.
Space. Space language.
Could be an Australian accent.
When we do these things on Saturday, somebody might say it in an accent that another person might not understand, and so you get, like, I'm getting spice language, and you're giving me space language, and so we say whatever you hear is exactly what you write down. It's not good or bad.
Rainbow.
A rainbow, okay. Space or spice language, a rainbow. Coming back to you.
Sorry. Roller skating.
Roller skating. Okay. Over to you.
Joy.
Joy. Mozart. Roller skating. Joy. Mozart. Operatic. Coming down front.
It's about something about desire.
Desire. Let's go with desire. Operatic desire. That works. I like operatic desire. No problem with that. To you in the back. Explosion. Operatic desire, explosion. Put those three together. What will you do with that? I don't know. Let's let the mystery stand. Okay, we're going to go around the table here. I'll start with my friend with the star on his shirt, on his chest.
Subways.
Sidewise?
Subways.
Subways. Oh,
From New York.
it's from New York. Yeah.
Graffiti.
Oh, you're right.
Swirling ribbons.
Swirling ribbons.
Wow.
Okay, coming around to you.
Silly.
Silly. Love that word.
Surreal.
Surreal. Okay.
Ballet.
Ballet.
Banksy.
Banksy. Ha 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 ha. Let me go to the woman in green.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck. And we're coming around the room. We're in the home stretch, my friends. Let's go to you in the back. I feel like I'm auctioning, painting.
Celestial.
Celestial.
Oblivion.
What's that?
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Yodel.
Yodel. I fell into oblivion there for a moment. What's your...
Bending reality.
Bending reality. Okay, let's do some of that. We'll take that. How about you in the middle? Ingrid. Ingrid's trying to make a choice.
Illusion.
Illusion. Ingrid's going to give us illusion. My friend behind the post.
Feast. Feast.
Feast, which we can have here. Yes.
Night.
Starry night. Okay. You in the red.
Flamenco.
Flamingo. My friend behind the eyes.
Little Prince.
Little Prince. Thank you so. Oh my God! There we got the. Whew.
Glittering water.
Glittering water.
Abrupt.
Abrupt.
Incongruity.
Incongruent?
You gotta slow down. You're going too fast.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. Okay, where did we? Let's go. Let's go back. Where's littering water? Glittering water. Abrupt. Thank you, Forrest. Glittering water, abrupt. What was yours again? Incongruent.
Whirling dervish.
Whirling dervish. Pair that with a little prince.
Colors.
Pardon?
Colors.
Colors. Whirling dervish, colors.
Why?
Roy wants to ask the question, why? Put that on your list. Why? Forrest?
Fantasy.
Fantasy. What's yours? Limitless. We've got limitless and one more.
City sidewalks.
City sidewalks. Okay. We usually don't have this many in our Saturday call. We probably have about 40 people in here. So you have a very long list. Who would like to read this list out loud? Adrian, do you want to read the list out loud?
Sure.
I knew you wanted. I'm waiting for you. I'm going to give you something to do.
Well, I managed
you-
to get them all.
You managed. I saw it. I watched it. I witnessed it.
Okay. From the top.
From the top.
Yes.
Complete what I haven't.
Okay, there you go. Tagging, indigo, connected or connecting, stairway to heaven, messaging, breath, space language, rainbow, roller skating, joy, Mozart, operatic, desire, explosion, subways, swirling ribbons, silly, surreal, ballet, Banksy, moonstruck, celestial, oblivion, yodel, bending reality, illusion, feast, starry night, flamenco, little prince, glittering water, abrupt, incongruity, whirling dervish, colors, why, fantasy, limitless, and city sidewalks.
Thank you very much. Give her a big hand. Yay, baby. Okay, so
I used to be able to do that.
So what we have here now is a community list that pairs with the list that you created. Again, here these are the community lists that are paired with the images. So on Saturday mornings we work with imagery rather than getting the group to put together a fanciful image like we did today. So there are lots of ways that you can go about this list. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is it's a blend of improvisational thinking, imaginative thinking, and one of the things that many of us have learned to do in education when we've been in our rational minds, we want to get it right. We want to be good writers. We want to do it well. We want to attain perfection. I was telling Adrian, perfection is something we don't have to work with. It's already been attained. We're in it. This is perfection. We're in infinity. This is it. Can you achieve excellence? That's a stronger question. Can you achieve excellence within the context of what you're trying to do? One of the ways to do that is to let your imagination have some fun. So this is playtime right now. This is not writing time. So one of the things that you can do with a list like this, there's the tagging Little Prince, or maybe the abrupt joy, or the operatic desired colors, or why does the explosion sustain the limitless need I once had under the surreal ballet when I watched beside the Banksy image that had been disappeared from the world because somebody was messaging the wrong thing. So what did I just do? What happened there?
You pulled all those concepts together.
Okay. I was using my imagination, but I wasn't. But there was more going on.
Free association.
It was free association. What was I associating with?
It's a random list of words.
It's a random list of words, but this is also our list of words. I was collaborating with the whole room. This was not me doing this. This was us collectively doing this. I just happened to bounce around and stop, okay? So what I'd like for you to experience is your own imaginative leaps. For 10 minutes, I want you to have the second sheet of paper, I hope, or so that you, let's see, you need to have the list on one page and flip back and forth, working with the list and the second sheet of paper. So I'd like for you to just take 10 minutes and generate something. You can write as fast as you want. Sometimes on Saturday morning, people write haikus. So they only do, you know, the bovine growth hormone is one syllable too long, just like this haiku. That's it. One little thing. But most people write something. So what I'd like for you to play around with for 10 minutes is just generate some work, and then after we do that, I'll ask you to pair up in 2 or 3 and just read what you wrote aloud. And if you don't feel like reading it, you can listen to the person that would like to read it. So that's what's going to happen. And then we'll take some reflections and then some questions, and then that'll be that. So if you're ready, get your paper in front of you, get your pages in front of you. And here's Adrian, I'll give this back to you.
Thank you.
And yes.
Do we have to start with the lighthouse singing?
You do not have to start with, you can start with anything you want. You do not have to use all the words. You can use one of the words. You can use as many as you like. The words are just the prep to get you rolling, okay?
So I just want to clarify, you mentioned something about the lighthouse. So we've moved on from the
The lighthouse was just a way to get these words. But if you want to bring the lighthouse in, you can do that too. You can still talk to the star. You know, let the star carve through the grape leaves or something.
Use our own words, or do we need
Use your own words, or as many words as you like. Your own words. It's a free-form thing. Do whatever you want. 10 minutes begins now. Off you go. It's rolling.
It's rolling. I think it's amazing how quiet everybody got.
Yeah, I know.
They're like in their classroom.
It's like classroom. 15 more seconds. Start winding it up and finishing it out. So Adrian noted that everything got really quiet. So let's take a couple of minutes. Anybody want to just give a quick pop on what you experienced, or any? Oh, all the way to the back. Yes.
I thought it was really fun. I had a really good time.
You did.
Goodbye.
What do you know now that you didn't know before? Do you know anything? Anything different?
Felt my creative range.
Yeah. What else? Why was it so quiet? What was going on?
People were really concentrating into this
Yeah.
this project,
Right.
right?
Right. So a couple of tips. When you're walking down the street, you can look at if you think of the street as a list like this, and you just let your imagination start to pair the window with the fence, or the pigeon with the coffee in the counter. So you'll start to pair different things. And when you do that, what you'll notice is that your imagination, coupling with your rational mind, will make sense of it. And it's something that we can lean into. Our imaginations have a lot of power, and when you exercise them, that power grows. No shade on your imagination now. It's probably pretty powerful. That said, the more you exercise it, the more it will grow. This is just an easy way to do it without too much effort. Anything else that happened? I'm going to ask you all to read what you wrote just with a couple of people around you in a moment, but I just wanted to get anything else? Okay, let's go, and then we'll come to you. Yeah.
I think the anticipation.
A little more voice.
I think the anticipation of sharing the content made me feel something like anxious or.
The anticipation of sharing the content made me feel anxious. Here's the tip. I got here and then to you. You never have to share it. The operative word is I pass. And it's because it's your creative authority. I'm going to pass. I don't want to share it. And the rule is, okay, great, thank you. And then your job is to listen. And also, if you feel motivated to do it, but you're a little squirrely around it, or gee, I don't know, maybe you might want to try it. So it's a creative choice. Yes, please.
I was going to say, it took away the dreaded white space when we start to write. Oftentimes, we don't know where to start. It's that proverbial image of the writer sitting at the typewriter with a blank sheet of paper.
Yeah, we're not there at the typewriter anymore. This is now the Harry Potter magic wand.
But either way,
Pardon?
dreaded white space.
Yeah. And this disengages your internal critic. Do you all know the artist way? Have you familiar with that? I used to do a lot of work with Julia Cameron years ago in Taos, New Mexico. Alexandra Weber was there as well. She's a good friend of mine. So we were all in Taos together, and so there was always the dreaded this and the dreaded that and the internal critic. And what this somehow does is it just disengages it. The internal critic hasn't seen this before. Well, I don't know what this is, so we'll just let it pass. And then suddenly you're like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. Did any of you get a little surprise when like something like, that's odd? What? And let's see, I'm coming to you next, okay? And then to you. And then to you, okay. And then I saw your nod there, yes.
Okay, yeah, it got me out of myself because I was like thinking you're going to make us write about ourselves. And that's a good thing you didn't, so, And it gives these words were like prompts to get out of myself, too.
Great. Or maybe let's revise that and say you're just going into what you don't know, so it's still part of self.
Okay.
It's just the self that's willing to reveal in the moment. So we're still telling our story. It's there. It's always there, and it's there in fanciful ways or logical ways.
For me, the first association with the lighthouse was danger. What is danger? Is death. Why did I spend all my life risking my life, which I have done? I've got a motorcycle still.
Right,
I'm 85. And it just brought a lot of thoughts about that and maybe going to the starlight when you finally go.
So back to Roy's question, why? Okay, why? And that's a really profound question. I spent all my life risking. Why?
Yeah.
Now, maybe you could spend another 3 years trying to determine why, and you might never find out. But in the process of trying to discover that why, you will be a different person in 3 years for the quest. Because, my friend, that question is as risky as a motorcycle. Let me tell you.
I saw a tattoo the other day. No risk, no story.
No risk, no story. And that's so.
Like
so
that.
there's dramatic tension in asking why. Please.
Well, you said if there was something odd when we were writing, and yes, I just picked the words, and yes, the situation is odd. You'll see that when I read it.
Yeah. The situation is odd.
Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe not. Sometimes it's very ordinary. So there's a lot of beauty in ordinary. There's a question there's a piece of poetry that I love to offer, and when we go into this imaginative work, we're also moving into beauty. Like what is, and when you see excellence, when you make an effort, we were talking about this at lunch, people don't say it's perfect. They go like, oh, that's beautiful. Oh, how lovely. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, maybe you just have a nice outfit on. Somebody might go, it's a lovely outfit. So we lean in the direction of beauty. Charles Wright, in a long poem titled Lonesome Pine Special, offers us this around beauty. And then I'm going to ask you all to go into a group and read this. And I think about this line, these lines a lot. And he says, and here we are also, the risk and the death is with us. And that's a very powerful, beautiful idea. Even though sometimes we're afraid of it, but it's with us. It can be our ally. Charles Wright says this, or asks this: all beauty All beauty begins with disappearance. The bitten edges of things, the gradual sliding away into tissue and memory, the uncertainty and dazzling impermanence of days we beg our meanings from, and their frayed loveliness. All beauty, that's us, all beauty begins with disappearance. You know, look in the mirror. All beauty begins with disappearance. The bitten edges of things, the age spots, the wrinkles, the bitten edges of things, the gradual sliding away into tissue and memory. You know, why? Into tissue and memory. And the uncertainty, and just look outside as I say this, the uncertainty and dazzling impermanence of days we beg our meanings from, and their frayed loveliness. The uncertainty and dazzling impermanence of days we beg our meanings from, and their frayed loveliness. Why do I risk my life doing these things? Why do I do that? There's an uncertainty there, and there's this dazzling impermanence. Please come back. And the day goes, no, I'm gone. The dazzling impermanence, and within that impermanence lies this imaginative work. That's why this is more than about writing. This imaginative work is something that is our birthright. Our questions around creativity are not questions around creativity. Do I have creative bone in my body? Absolutely. How could you not? It's around organization. Not do I have abundant creativity? It's like, how will you allow your imagination to organize this abundance that you were born with? And what will you do with it? One of the things about this group, I don't know very many of you, but I know some of you. And those of you whom I know have organized your lives in very dramatic ways and very beautiful ways. Adrian Leeds is a good example. She's organized her life around housing. You know, and what is it? Robert Frost said, home is where, in the death of the hired man, home is where when you go, they have to let you in. They have to let you in. So if you have a roof, and if you have to let somebody in, you know that your brother, your sister, your relative has arrived, even if you were not born of the same parents. So there's some beauty there, and that beauty is always disappearing. And that's why this is really interesting. I'd like for you to pair up in, say, groups of 3 or 2 and just have an opportunity to hear the work if the people in the 3 groups would like to read. So maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, or you 3, or maybe you 3, or somehow figure, or you 2. Work it out.
Work it out. Should I stop it?
Okay. Okay. Those of you, just take a break for a second. Those of you who have not finished, go ahead and finish. Take 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes to finish. 3 more minutes. Okay. 3 more minutes. Keep ringing.
There's a call to order.
We've lost it, Adrian.
This crowd is out of control.
They're out of control. Out of control.
They're out of control.
Out of control. You know you've succeeded when Adrian wants you to stop and nobody stops.
Yeah.
She's usually the
they're
boss.
So well behaved.
Okay. So we're going to take just a little bit more time, and then we can have some socializing time before the 5 o'clock hour. I think we close at 5.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, but we've got time. It's only 4:25.
Only 4:25. Okay, we have a bit of time left in our allotted time, so I'm aware of that. So the room was very quiet, and then the room was very loud. Okay, so one of the things I'd like to do is to, first of all, a quick pop-up, what did you hear when you when you read, or when you didn't read, or what happened in your group? Did you?
Poetry.
You heard. You heard poetry. Now that's actually a little. I never say this in the beginning, but for some reason, this always leans toward poetry. And people who will come in claiming I can't write poetry, they read this stuff and it has a poetic feel to it. And maybe it's not like, it may be not classic poetry like "Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky like a patient etherized upon a table," which would be the T.S. Eliot's proof rock. You know, I've seen the eyes already, the eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase. And when I'm formulated and sprawling on a pen, when I'm pinned and wriggling on the wall, then how should I begin to spit out all the butt ends of my days and ways? So that's a really heavy lifting piece of poetry. Prose. You know, one Christmas was so much like another in those years around the Seatown corner. Now they're out of all sound, except for the distant speaking of the voice, as I sometimes hear a moment before sleep. Dylan Thomas, Child's Christmas in Wales. That's my last Duchess painted on the wall looking as if she were alive. I call that piece a wonder now. Prop Handoff's hands work busily a day, and there she stands. So those are heavy lifting. Those are heavy lifting pieces of poetry. One of mine, you know, "Oh jazz band, play that Hurricane Blues." "Oh jazz band, play that Hurricane Blues." I can't remember it. Shoot, I thought I had it. Never mind, forget it.
Oh, no.
It's mine, yeah. Oh, here it is. So notice, I've memorized thousands of lines of poetry. That's one that I wrote and I have known all my life. It slipped out. Okay? There it was. It slipped out.
That's because you can always rewrite it.
We can always replay it, and you can always rewrite it, but you always know that once that imagination starts to whirl, there's an unpredictability to it. And it's the same kind of whirl as the murmuration of the blackbirds flying. You know, among the snowy mountains, among the 20 snowy mountains, the only moving thing was the eye of the blackbird. That's Wallace Stevens, right? Blackbirds moving around. In the murmuration, it makes sense, okay? So why does it lean toward poetry? "Oh jazz band, play that Hurricane Blues, rising through the marsh grass, warmer than a coastal moon. Magic June loves steel rhythm blues and robs melancholy to make me happy. Oh jazz band, when the air is thin, fill my mouth with night." You know, that's a piece of poetry, right? But Candler used to be a preacher's wife down in Alabama. Her husband, the Reverend Doyle Summerhill, could preach up a storm. "Yea, though I walk through the valley," he'd say. That's prose. Or, "I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Shh. Don't tell. It'd banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody, how public, like a frog, to call one's name the livelong day to an admiring bog." Emily Dickinson, right? Okay. So we lean in the direction of poetics because we are inclined toward beauty. And that's something that we all have. I encourage you to never discount that for yourself, no matter where you are in the world. It's something that you can have and you can always carry, and no matter how many things fall off the porch, no matter what happens, if you carry that, then that's your anchor, that's your strength. You know, that's the flag on the hill, and it's yours, and people will see it at a distance. I would like to hear some people read, and the way I'm going to do it is democratic. You all may know of the Poetry Slam, you may know of the Moth Storytelling. I have the list here that you signed when you came in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip through the list, point to a name, and if you want, and I'm going to point to the name, and if you don't want to read, say pass. But this will give, I'll take 4 or 5 people. So is Gloria here? Polinsky, Gloria, is that you?
Yeah.
Would you like to read?
Okay.
Why don't you read? Now let's keep voice projection in mind, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
Well, okay, that's all you can do.
Limitless fantasy is a feast of joy. The incongruity of the glittering water creates bright motion over city sidewalks as the lighthouse singing to a dancing star. accompanies a whirling dervish.
Nice.
Come on. Come on. I mean, I'm just flipping through these again. Let's see, put this back into this is fun. All right. Will we have Bev and Tony? Let's go both with Bev and Tony because they came together.
Speak up.
So we need voice projection, please. This is
Okay. The joy of the starry night.
a little more voice. Don't please a little more.
The joy of the starry night. The silent breaths of pink flamingos created illusions of rainbows, reaching out into glittering waters, feasting on the many colors of the universe. The night filled with dreams of Banksy, Little Princes, and Mozart, bending reality, skills, skies of subways, dancing ballerinas, blowing glitter off the hands of angels.
Come on. Now that's okay. So Bev, are you going to now read Tony's?
No.
Tony's taking an artistic pass. Thank you, Tony. Let's see who else we have here. Flip it over. How about Sean Gallagher?
He isn't leading.
Sean's doesn't have anything to read. Sean's passing. Okay. How about Mark Weitz? Where's Mark? Mark, take it away, brother. Voice projection, please.
The desire and joy of connecting to the operatic explosion, bringing swirling ribbons of a surreal sky, a ballet of celestial oblivion leaving us moonstruck. This is the indigo world of what I see roller skating on LSD. Less fantasies of color come to me. I feel like a little prince as I go from the subway up the stairway to heaven and past the rainbow glittering on the water of the river. It's not an illusion or a bending of reality, but a beast that rises up from me abruptly and incongruently. It makes me want to do the flamingo and yodel a message in a space language to a breath of aliens. It's not silly. It's probably how Van Gogh painted Starry Night.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Come on. What is it? This Wallace Stevens. Not all the knives of the lamppost, nor the mallets and domes of the high towers can carve what one star can carve, shining through the grape leaves. That's. And the guy's got a tie on. Who would have thought? You know? Well done, sir. Let's do it. Let's do a couple more, okay? Flip it over. Alexandra Weber.
Oh, good. Yes, good.
Alexandra and I have known each other since 1994. We're family, right? She's in Paris at the same time I am. I didn't do this. There she is. So don't blame me later.
You gotta hold my hand.
No, I'm not holding your hand.
Yes,
You're
you're
on.
holding-
Okay, I'll hold your hand.
It's wonderful. In Paris, strangely, I feel connected. The explosion of breath and desire, celestial ending of reality, moonstruck feasts on a starry night. Roller skating on city sidewalks, I feel the whirling dervish of the Little Prince. Incongruity, surreal, operatic joy, space language and breath, messaging to my soul some limitless flamingo dance on the stairway to heaven.
Actually, she claims she's not. I don't write. She says.
I hate writing.
Actually, Alexandra, I will say that if you're ever in Taos, when we do Imaginative Storm projects, she collaborates with us to do the cooking and the catering and the house management. So we're glad to have her in Taos, and thank you for that too. Well done. Let's do one more. Okay, let me just. Somebody's gonna, I don't know if you're gonna think you're. Okay, Ingrid Wallace.
Oh, no.
Ingrid's passing. Okay, I want you all to just notice how beautifully one can pass. Okay, you really don't have to. You really can take the authority of your own truth and say, "I pass." Done. Simple as that. Let me see.
Oh no, I passed.
I pass. Let's see who. Let's do one more. Flip it over. Let's see.
You won the door prize, you know.
All right, how about John Parker?
No, I'll pass. I've said my piece before.
Oh, John said his piece before. Okay, let's go right below Anne. Juno.
Hello. Yeah.
Is that Anne Juno?
Yeah, Juno.
That Juno way?
Juno.
Juno.
It's like turnip, but no accent.
My name is Nave, and people ask me if it's a spiritual name, and I say in Spanish it's vessel, and in Hebrew I've been told it's deep well, and in French, if you speak French, many of you do, le nave means little turnip or bad movie.
With a T on it.
So that's the spiritual name.
Put an accent on his name.
It's my family name is Nave. And my family comes from eastern Tennessee, and I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, on Brevard Road, 12 Pine Lane, in the country.
You could be home making furniture.
I could be home making furniture or music. Yeah, Alabama Jubilee, Orange Blossom Special, Down Yonder, yeah. I could even be talking Southern if I shifted a little bit. Are you going to read?
Yes.
Good. So the last reader of the day, Anne, please.
Once upon a time, the little prince climbed the stairway to heaven. Incongruous. The lights, the colors, never-ending spiral. Indigo starlight. Communicating the message, the explosion of knowledge. Banksy is the word. Below the way, subway. Quiet emotions. Ribbons in the starry night. Surrealist.
Thank you. Give a big hand. I wish we could do everybody. Now, we have a few more moments, so if anybody would like to reflect or ask any questions, I will say that if you would like to be on our mailing list, you can put your name right here on this piece of paper. And I'd like it if you did. I'll just pass that around. I'll pass a couple more around. So just and those who want to be, and the mailing list is up. What we do is we add you to the Substack mailing list, and then you get an announcement when we do these workshops and a few other things. So if you're interested in that, I'd be grateful. Questions, thoughts before we?
I wanted to hear yours.
Yes.
I would like to understand how you can remember so many poems and their authors. I find it incredible.
Adrian wants to know how I remember so many poems. Okay, and I go for walks every morning, and I will take a piece of poetry, and I will go over it maybe 1,000 times. So the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock I have been working on for 9 years. And I tend to forget it even now. So I know a lot of poetry because I spend a lot of time taking it in. So I will walk for all summer on one poem, or all winter on one poem. And I'm excited when I forget more than when I remember. So what you don't know, write what you don't know. What's when that forgetfulness comes, that's an opportunity to learn something. And so I couldn't remember the poem. I'm excited when I don't remember it. It's not a failure, it's a success. And so over the years, I've learned hundreds and hundreds of poems. You know, The Raven, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, as I pondered weak and weary over many a curious volume of forgotten lore. As I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Or Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, as I pondered, was weak and weary over many a curious volume of forgotten lore. As I nodded, I was nearly napping. Suddenly there came a tapping as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. 'Tis some visitor, I uttered, rapping at my chamber door. This it is, nothing more. Ah, distinctly. I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore. Nameless here, forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more. Open here." I flung the shutters. Silence there, and nothing more. So that's the beginning of The Raven.
That's the beginning of The Raven?
Well, it goes on for 8 minutes. I won't do any more.
I have another question.
But you take one piece of poetry and you work it and you work it and you work it. Let's see if anybody else has any questions, because I think we're getting close to the end here.
I just want to know, what's your favorite poem? Oh, tough one.
No, I don't have. There are poems in my life that have really informed me, like "All Beauty Begins with Disappearance," or the line of poetry that inspires this. What is it inside your imagination that keeps surprising you at odd moments when something is given back you didn't know you had, in solitude, spontaneously, and with great joy? And I'm closing with this. What is it inside your imagination that keeps surprising you at odd moments when something is given back you didn't know you had? Here's the right what you don't know. You didn't know you had in solitude, spontaneously, and with great joy. And the answer is, it's you. You are inside your imagination surprising yourself with what you know and what you don't know. And that line of poetry is what's driving the imaginative storm work. And so that's probably the most influential line of poetry in my life. That one line. What is it? The question. Why? What is it? I'll leave you with that. Why? What is it? Thank you all very much. See you later. Whew.
Thank you, Jim Nave.
Thank you.
For
Adrian.
doing it again. Mwah.
Mwah.
Was that not absolutely a blast?
Thank you all.
Gets everybody thinking, right? Now you can start your own stories, your own poetry.
Hang
right?
around.
Hang around.
Pay below.
Thank you.
Don't forget to
pay. For
pay.
your drinks. And we'll see you next month. Bye, everybody.